There is a well-known quote from Mike Tyson that goes, "Everyone is tough until they get punched in the face." Let me ask you a question. Would you rather get punched in the face by a 6'9", 277-pound, two-time world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury as a professional boxer, or be in middle school and get punched in the face by an older bully? The right answer is getting punched in the face by Tyson Fury. Why? Well, which punch is gonna hurt more? The punch from Tyson or the playground bully? The bullies will. Why? Because as a professional boxer, you've learned how to take a punch. You've taken lots of punches. You've been trained to take them. As a professional boxer, a single punch in the face is not life-altering. But as a middle schooler, you are not prepared. And the punch from the bully in middle school is not only gonna hurt you more physically, maybe, but it will most definitely hurt you more emotionally, and maybe for the rest of your life. From that experience forward, you might avoid anything that puts you at risk of harm, physically and emotionally, forevermore. Do you see the difference here? The Roman philosopher Lucius Seneca wrote that, quote, "Only the prize fighter who has been bloodied and bruised in training and in previous matches can go into the ring confident of his chances of winning. The one who has never been touched before, never had a hard fight, that is the fighter who is scared. And if they aren't, they should be, because they have actually no idea how they're gonna hold up." End quote. That describes a lot of the people in our economy right now. Two generations of people, the millennials and the Gen Zers, worldwide have never been in a position of leadership going through a recession. 3 generations of leaders, now adding the Gen Xers, have no idea what it's like to lead in an inflationary environment. That means most leaders today have no experience dealing with the insidious chain reaction of price increases, slowing consumerism, and escalating labor costs. In other words, most of today's leaders have never been punched in the mouth. They don't know how to take a punch, like a professional, and then how to counter. So that is what I'm gonna do with you here this morning. I'm gonna teach you how to fight, what to do when you are about to be punched in the mouth, and how to use that moment to counter-strike your way to victory. I'm gonna give you the number one counterintuitive, which is why most others get knocked out when they get punched in the mouth, strategy to use when a punch is coming your way. Are you ready? Okay. When you see a punch coming, when you see a crisis coming, and there's no time to block it, and there's no time to move out of the way, now what? What do? You want to do what boxers call lean into the punch. You don't want to lean back to try to avoid the punch. That will throw you off balance, leave you defenseless, and that is when you get clobbered. Instead, you want to lean into the punch. This allows you to do what is called slip the punch. And now you're in a position to counter with your knockout punch. This is precisely the mistake the Big Oak, the 25-year-old undefeated George Foreman, made in the Rumble in the Jungle match against the 32-year-old Muhammad Ali. And this fight took place after Ali was stripped of his title and his license was suspended because he refused to be drafted. And when Ali returned after being out for 4 years, he lost to Ken Norton and he lost to Joe Frazier, 2 great boxers that George Foreman knocked out by only the 2nd round. Almost nobody gave the former champion Ali a chance of winning this bout. But George made this fatal mistake. When Ali finally came off the ropes from his famous rope-a-dope performance and started throwing punches, Foreman leaned back. He got off balance and became defenseless to counterattack. And Ali dropped him in one of the greatest unexpected upsets in sports history. Here is 15 seconds of that footage. I want you to watch as George keeps stepping forward as Ali punches, except one time. I'll slow it down for you so that you can see it. When he leans back instead of forward to slip the punch, that is when Ali catches him with a left and then followed with the right. And the unbeatable Big Oak, George Foreman, goes down. And the fight is over. Let's watch.
Very even fight. Ali is sneaky right hand. Another sneaky right hand.
You see, this is the critical lesson that I want to teach you here this morning. When the punch is coming, the crisis is coming, the problem is coming at you. I know intuitively and instinctively you want to flinch and lean back to avoid it. Instead, you want to do the opposite. You want to lean into it, right into the path of danger, to slip it to the right or the left so that you're cocked and ready to drive your knockout success punch. See it this way. When a punch or a crisis or a problem is coming your way, now is your chance to use it, to lean into it, then to win. The moves you make right now in this economy, professionally and economically, are critical. You must lean into this time to slip the blow and be standing tall, ready to strike. The hardest of times is always when I thrive the most. It is known that recessions is when the wealthy become wealthy and when many, many others get washed out. Why? Because the wealthy know how to lean in. They know this is their time to strike. You see, I got into real estate after the big Black Monday economic crash because I leaned in when all the veterans in the industry leaned back. It was the reason why I was able to do so well so fast. It would not have been possible without the competitive field on their heels. I did a successful turnaround on an educational software company right after 9/11 and the education spending was locked down. Competitors downside or folded their tent, meaning they leaned back. And I multiplied that company several times over in exactly the same period. I launched Success Magazine in March of 2008. Do you remember March of 2008? Literally at ground zero of the Great Recession, and delivered the biggest first issue magazine release in the history of publishing, selling 1 million copies. And in 2020, during the middle of the COVID lockdown and pandemic, we had the biggest year in the history of our company. Candidly, there is no way I could have had the success that I've had if not for those crisis moments. It wasn't because of those crises. It was because I leaned into those punches when everybody else leaned back. It was because I acted aggressively during those opportune times. And in that pocket of hard times, my ascent was exponentially accelerated. You can say when hard times come, I'm thrilled. Why? Because I'm a hardy, and this is when we thrive. If you think you will just lean back or ride out this economy, you're fooling yourself. And I'll tell you what, you're putting your team, your clients, and your family in jeopardy. Hiding, covering up, waiting, or riding it out, or even just operating as normal is a huge mistake. It is just an excuse for not acting, for not stepping up, for not getting aggressive, for not leaning in, for not leading. You see, 5 years from now, there will be those who tell the story. Yeah, I had a thriving business, or yeah, I had a significant leadership position, but the economy went bad. What are you gonna do? And another person sitting right next to them who was in the same business or in the same leadership position, that person will now be worth 10 times more. They got wealthy. They're living an enviable lifestyle, all during the same 5-year period of time. I ask you, which story do you want to tell? Because now is the time to decide. The story is being written right now. The pen is in your hand and the story is being written, whether you do anything about it or not, by the decisions that you make right now. So as your trusted advisor, the advice that you need to hear, I know it can sometimes feel overly direct and overly tough, but I will tell you what, it's always caring. My caring for you and for those that you are responsible for leading. So here's my advice. If you own a business or you are in a leadership position responsible for revenue and or team productivity and culture, get to our business masterclass in October. This is a critical time. We are no doubt at a crucible moment, and this period will be forever future shaping. I'm telling you, later it will be too late. This October is when I can help you set your sail as you lead your enterprise into the headwinds that are coming. And I can put you in a position to become the dominant player in your industry. I've done it over and over again. I have the formula. I can teach it to you. And I couldn't have made it any easier. You can get in for only $375 on installments. $375. Okay? I worked really hard at putting that finance package together for you. Had to go out and personally guarantee it with my money on the line for others to be able to get the necessary training they need to be able to set their sail going into the headwinds we're going into. Plus, for you being with me right here, right through this series, I'm also giving you $15,000 in additional resources and gifts. These are tools that you're going to need to rise to the occasion so that you can dominate your marketplace. But those are exclusive to the link that I give you here on this series. They are not available otherwise. Plus, I back all of this up with a 300% return on investment personal guarantee, meaning this event is free to you. It's free. Plus, you get to keep all your increased profit. So, your action items are as follows. A, if you haven't seen the 10X Bottom Line broadcast for the full picture of all that is involved here, I tell you to watch it. And then when you're done watching it, then register for the Business Masterclass because you'll have the full context of what it is that's involved. Or B, if you've already seen it, or you're sitting there going, dude, I get it. This is what I need. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been hunting for. This is what I've been praying and hoping for. Just go register now, okay? The private backdoor access to be sure that you get all the bonus gifts are at bmcinvite.com, okay? That's bmcinvite, all one word.com. It is in this Business Masterclass where I can help you author the story of how you got wealthy by what you did 5 years prior versus the story of being a victim, due to economic times. Let me show you how I've done it and how I've helped thousands of other global business leaders do it too. And as Churchill would say, let's stand strong and united and never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. We will act with fervor and never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing great or small, large or petty, we will never give in. And if you do this has the opportunity to be your finest hour. I hope you've enjoyed this special series. I hope that you have shared it with your fortress of support. And I hope I get the chance to help you become the game changer in your industry and lead the life that you were meant to lead. There are no Friday funnies since we are not on the regular Darren Daily set. So use this time to grab your seat for the upcoming Business Masterclass if you're up for it. The link is below. And either way, I will see you on the flip side Monday morning.